Hello, my name is Ali, and for anyone who doesn't know me, I am a coach, a facilitator, a creative, a poet, a lifelong learner, and I'm really interested in both the world inside of us and the world around us and how our inner world impacts the one we interact with out in everyday life. And I've been studying somatics, which is the wisdom and intelligence and communication of our bodies and nervous systems for the last 4 to 5 years. And I'm now integrating that into some of the work that I've been doing around creativity and vision and values and cultivating a sense of alignment for our lives and the things that we create. So I want to start exploring some of these concepts and bringing them out into the world, having conversation around them. I'd like to begin hosting some dialogues and talks as well as workshops. And I thought I'd start with a series that I'm going to call The Body a Sanctuary Through Times of Change. And today in this video, I wanted to explore particularly rhythms and moments of sanctuary or rest throughout the day as a way of helping the body feel like a place of home for all of us. So I'm going to explore that theme a little bit and then offer a practice to allow you to try that on and see if that is useful to you, a useful tool. I'm going to create that in a separate video that will be linked at the bottom of this so that if you ever wanted to return to just the practice, you could do that. So look out for that if you want to give it a try later. And I'd love to hear what you think, how this resonates, how it lands. I'm really interested in how ideas meet reality. So I love the grappling and figuring of things out that we can do together. So I'd love to hear thoughts if you have them. All right. So this theme, sanctuary in the body through times of change. It came to me in part because both myself and people I work with really seem to be looking for, longing for a place of sanctuary in a moment of time that can be really hard to find that. And particularly as the world around us intensifies and the things that we're living through and having to experience get more unsettling and just bigger and more challenging and complex, it can be really hard to know where to look for sanctuary, for rest, to fill ourselves back up, to create a sense of ground or center. And I know personally, I've also been navigating home shifting. And so that can be an additional layer if anyone's experiencing their physical structure changing. Knowing where do we look for a sense of sanctuary can be so, so important. And even if, may we all have safe home structure sanctuaries to live in, even then, with just the level of intensity of horror that we're witnessing in the world around us, of polarization, it can be really hard to find a place where we know that our bodies and nervous systems get a space to breathe, to feel relief and restoration. So that's where I invited in the question of, can the body help create that sense of sanctuary and home, even when things are so intense and complex and getting more so in the world around us? So, a thought that I have been marinating around is, can we create moments of sanctuary, moments of rest or restoration throughout our days that help cultivate a sense of connection and ground in a groundless world? One concept that really provoked this for me is understanding the healthy rhythms of a regulated nervous system. So I'm doing this because when our nervous system is in our healthiest state, we'll go through a period of activation, which kicks on often the sympathetic nervous system, just a little bit of it, ideally, when we really kick it on and we're in fight or flight. That can also be intense, and sometimes we have periods of that. And then when we're in a healthy state, we're going to go through a period of rest and digest or deactivation. So coming down from that, which is the parasympathetic nervous system. And then we'll kick back on a little activation and then a little rest and digest. And so when our systems are operating in their healthiest state, we go like this. A little activation, a little rest and digest, activation, rest and digest, activation, rest and digest. And so as this keeps going, this is how we regulate. And this rhythm is a rhythm we see throughout nature and throughout everything in the world, right? There's this rhythm of kind of expansion and contraction. If you look at the breath, which is truly what keeps us alive, right? Our breaths expand and then contract, and then they expand again and contract. And this is happening all the time, keeping us alive every day. If you look at the tides in the ocean, same thing, right? Maybe a different pace, but the tides go out and the tides come back in, and the tides go out again and they come back in. We have seasons which cycle us through different energies, night and day, also another energy. If you look at animals, maybe you have pets or you just observe animals, they go through a lot of periods of rest and then activity and play, and then rest and activity and play. Babies, same thing. They really move through these natural rhythms of a regulated nervous system. This flow is really healthy and can be part of helping us regulate. And one challenge that kind of mainstream modern industrialized cultures experience is that the way we've been organized is that we wake up in the morning, we turn on, we flip on the on switch, and then we stay on or are often expected to stay on until the very end of the day when we then shut off. And there isn't always this rhythm throughout the day. There isn't always space for that, right? And so we sometimes have to bypass signals of the body that might be saying, oh, I need a break, or I just need to rest or relax. And I think probably even more so than just the way our days are structured now, when we look out into the world around us, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of intensity. I mean, we're witnessing a genocide. There is so much that our bodies are having to navigate and experience in this moment of time. And so it can be really easy to flip on and then not get the appropriate periods of rest and digest or deactivation that we might need. So one of the practices I wanted to invite in is this idea of returning to rhythm and listening for when we need just a moment of rest, a moment of restoration, a moment of sanctuary throughout the day, maybe inserting these little moments inside of our days. And this could look like practically, realistically, can you take 30 seconds? If you're noticing you just went through something stressful, or you just completed something big, it could be a time to, can I take 30 seconds and just breathe? Or can you take 2 minutes? 2 minutes has really been shown, if with 2 minutes of deep breathing, you can really reset your physiology. So 2 minutes is often enough to help cultivate a little sense of reset in the body. Maybe you could take 5 minutes, 10 minutes if you're able, and just be able to insert these little periods of rest or reset throughout the day so that you're not saving it all up to the very end of the day once the body is really exhausted and perhaps kind of past its point of, you know, true ability to restore gently and in a rhythmic process. So that's an invitation to create little moments of rest, little moments of reset, whether it's 30 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever is possible for you. I'm going to offer a practice after this that could be a format for how to do that and totally get creative. What does that look like? Maybe it's listening to a song that you love. Maybe it's just breathing. Maybe it's taking a walk. Maybe it's shaking something out because you just need to like release something you've been through. Maybe it's drawing, sketching, singing, anything that just like brings a sense of peace into your body, but really gives you a chance to set things down and experience some relief. Because also, this practice helps us tap into our natural sense of resilience that we have inside of us to allow us to go back out and meet the world with our fullness. And if we can move into more of these periods of expansion and contraction, or activation and rest, we really tap into that sense of resilience, to our sense of regulation, to a sense of health and well-being that might be more available than if we just flip on and expect ourselves to stay on consistently. So that's a thought I wanted to share and leave you with. Welcome any thoughts, reactions, ideas, questions, pushback, anything you want to share around this is super welcome. I'd love to hear how it sits for you if anything comes up, and check out the practice if you'd like to give it a try, and let me know what you think of that as well. All right, take good care. Wishing you lots of blessings for sanctuary space in your life. Mwah.